How do you feel about police brutality?
Uh, I feel that police brutality is at its worst right now because there's been so many incidents where like it's not necessary for them to be so brutal, but they do it anyways.
And how do you think do you think the police force do a good job?
At times, there's like they do a pretty good job, but at other times they more worried about themselves than the community.
And how would you change this?
I would change this by like just coming together as the police force and the community, just joining, trying to solve problems in the community together.
And do you believe that some police shootings are justified?
Uh, no, because well, some of them aren't, because like some officers shoot at the legs or arms just so like the target won't move. But for the most part, it's like one shot. But in some of these cases, it's been multiple shots.
Okay. And how do the shootings of like other teens about your age affect you?
Well, it affects us because we're close to that age range where it's tough knowing that like someone of your age was gunned down, and you could possibly think that that could happen again. Being a minority, it can happen.
And so, do you fear the police?
Uh, Not really. Like you just have to be respectful. Like if you want respect, they'll give you respect back if you're respectful towards them.
And do you believe the police have a tough job in the calls they have to make?
It is a tough job because you have to have like a perfect mindset and not rush to a decision of what to do.
Okay. And how would you react if you were in the officer that was involved with the Michael Brown shooting? Like how would you have reacted in that situation?
In that situation, if it's true, and like in some articles it says that Michael Brown turned around and was running towards the officer, I would have probably not done the same thing, but like would have tried another way of solving it.
At least try to restrain him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, I think that's all for now.
All right, thank you.
How do you feel about police brutality?
I feel like police brutality nowadays is a really big problem in a lot of communities, and it's a lot of stuff has been happening like in minority communities, as in black communities and the different, how can I say, not the suburbs, but more inside the city.
And do you think the police do a good job of keeping peace?
I don't think so because there's things that they could do differently to keep peace, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, what kind of things would you say these are?
I'd say as not understanding the people and like asking them and understanding their opinion or what they have to say. They just take it into their own hands and just whatever their mindset is and whatever they're feeling that day, they do.
Okay, and how do the shootings of teens your age affect you?
Well, as me being a teen and a black man, there's been a lot of shootings with minority of blacks and stuff, and being young black men. So it does a lot. It's like a really big difference because, like, going down to the street, I always have to wonder if my back is safe or if what's gonna happen that day.
So do you fear the police, or you just try to keep an eye out?
I don't fear the police at all. I just try to keep an eye out just to make sure because you never know. Like one day, I feel like this shouldn't be a fear because one day you can meet a cop that's really nice, and then the next day you meet one that just doesn't have the right mindset.
So you agree that this is more of a mentality thing with the shootings?
Yeah, it's more of how they feel that day and what happens and what their beliefs are.
Do you believe that the police still have a tough job and have to make hard calls?
Yeah, I believe they do, but I feel like at the same time it's kind of common sense. Like it shouldn't be just automatically I'm just gonna pull out and start shooting. Like you should know, like okay, here we go. We're gonna have to restrain him, and we're gonna use a different way other than trying to kill him.
And how would you have changed, or how would you have restrained Michael Brown if you had to be in Darren Wilson's shoes?
Well, if I knew that this was happening, I wouldn't try to like just straight cut him off and like bum rush him. I would have tried to take it slow and then lead him, and then if it happened to turn into more, I would use a taser to restrain, knowing that he doesn't have a weapon. But if he had a weapon, then I would understand to pull out your weapon.
Okay, that's all for now. Thanks.
God bless his soul. Police shot this boy outside my apartment. They killed him.
The young woman who shot that video and whose voice you heard, Piaget Crenshaw. She joins us now. She's here with her attorney, Karen Lewis. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. Piaget, I am so glad to speak to you. You were there that night. You can tell us from a very different perspective what went on because you witnessed it all. You waited until now to release this video. Why is that?
Well, because more importantly, concerned with my safety, of course, and because the media didn't release the name until several days after it happened. So we want to
officer.
Yes, Darren Wilson. We want to kind of put this name with the face, and I think this is relative information to most people.
You mentioned that you were concerned about your safety. Did you have reason to fear?
Well, I didn't, but just thoughts from my attorney. Maybe I should just hold back. Yeah.
What is going through your mind as this all is happening? Take me back to the moment. Why did you feel a need to record what was going on outside the window?
Okay, from it all initially happening, I knew this was not right. I knew the police shouldn't have even been chasing this young boy and firing at the same time. And the fact that he got shot in his face, it was something that clicked in me like, no, somebody else needs to see this. This isn't right. I got to record.
So you pulled out your cell phone camera and started rolling. How long after it all happened? You saw the whole scenario play out, right?
Yes, ma'am. But I waited a good 30 seconds. I had to run the house, get my phone, hurry up. It's kind of cracked up. I had to put it on the camera and just start recording what I saw.
So walk me through that.
30 seconds. So what we're looking at is Officer Darren Wilson to the right. He's just looking over the body, just looking baffled and bewildered of sorts, like trying to explain to the officer, what had I just done? And then we get this picture of him pacing back and forth, just like in disbelief. So it's like he understands that he just shot this boy in the face and that this boy was unarmed. And to me, this video just seems relative for this time period, especially including the fact that Chief Jackson said that the reason that this video wasn't even on the media at the time when it should have been was because he wanted to get all the information out at the same time, under the Freedom of Information Act. But they could have easily given these videos as well because they confiscated my phone.
So let's go back to that in a second. So take me back to the moment when you see a tussle at the police cruiser. What was going on? What happened?
Okay, well, from my point of view, I could not tell exactly what was going on, but it just looked as if he was trying to pull him almost into the car.
The officer pulled Michael into the car.
It just looked like he was trying to do such, and Brown being a bigger fella, that didn't seem to have been working, so of course he got away, and it just seemed to have upset the officer.
And then what happened?
Got out, his man just started chasing after the boy. I'm hearing shots fired. Clearly none of them hit him, but one I think did graze him, as they say on the autopsy report. And at the end, he just turned around after, I'm guessing, he felt the bullet graze his arm. He turned around and then was shot multiple times. And
the autopsy is now showing that he was shot from the front, not the back.
Exactly.
Does that square with what you saw?
Definitely, because he was running away. So when he turned towards the cop is when he let off the most shots.
So now let's go to the point where I hear your voice. You sound really upset.
I haven't even lived there a month. I had just moved there out of my parents' home. And
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license. Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead. Don't touch me. Get out of the car. Don't touch me. I'm not under arrest. You don't have the right to take me. You are under arrest. Hey, Bob. Did you see what he was wearing? Yeah. A dark hoodie, like a gray hoodie. And
we want justice by any means necessary. We want equality by any means necessary. We don't think that we should have to sit around and wait for some segregationist congressmen and senators and a president from Texas in Washington, D.C. to make up their mind that our people are due now some degree of civil rights. No, we want it now.